Okay, so now in this next video, we're gonna start implementing some sort of health and damage system into our level. So now that we understand collisions and how to trigger them, we are now gonna try to create an enemy and trigger so that when we collide with this enemy, we receive damage. Okay, so basically that's how collisions can be useful in games. When we trigger them, we can receive damage or either cause damage as well. So let's just take it one step at a time and first test how we will need to create an enemy that causes damage to us, the player. Okay, so let's go ahead and start by creating a cone that will be the representation of our enemy. So let's just put it like I guess here on the side. So this is our enemy. And just to make sure we remember that, let's rename this. Let's not call it cone anymore. Let's call it enemy. Okay. So now this is our enemy right here. Let's make sure that for its settings, we go under collision and check the simulation generates hit events. Because remember, we need this to trigger our hit events. Okay, so now similar to how we did with the chair example, we're gonna create a blueprint for this enemy in this detail submenu. And same thing, we're gonna choose new subclass, enemy blueprint. It's actually a good name for it. And then let's click select. Okay. So now that we're here, we're gonna do similar thing. We're gonna go to the event graph and create the hit event node, right? So when the collision is triggered, we're gonna trigger this event hit node. And now, how are exactly we gonna process the damage, right? So in Unreal Engine, there's actually a very convenient way to process damage, which is drag and drop here. We are going to use what is called an apply damage node. This one right here. So this node basically does all the necessary work to process damage between two actors. Okay, we're gonna go into more details about the different pins, but for now, let's go ahead and we make sure we add the node to process the damage. Okay, so what are we gonna do here? In the event hit, there's actually also different pins we could use, and there's this one called other. This other means the basically the actor that we are colliding against. The actor that we are on, the self actor in this blueprint will be the enemy, right? Because we're in the enemy blueprint. But when we choose this other pin, we're basically talking about the actor that is colliding against the enemy, right? So what we want to do is that we want to make sure that we specify in the blueprint that the actor receiving the damage will be the other one, the player that is colliding with the enemy. So for that, we're going to use the other that represents the player actor colliding, right? And we're gonna connect it with the damage actor pin. Because in this apply damage node, this damage actor pin represents the actual actor that will be receiving and processing the damage. So in this way, we're saying the other actor, the player, will be the one that is getting damaged by this collision through the apply damage node. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense as to how we process it. And now, I think once we do that, the only thing we have to also specify is how much damage do we receive, right? So later on, we're gonna set up the health for the player, but right now, let's just put here as a base damage for our damage node a value of 10. Okay, so every instance of damage that this enemy is gonna cause to the player will be a base damage of 10. Okay? In this way, now we did all the work necessary from the enemy side to cause damage to our actor, and as you can see, with a base damage value of 10. Now, in the next video, we will process how will the player then receive this damage.